There's a historic pro-choice bill being introduced in Congress. Laura Bassett wrote about this on the Huffington Post. And we've been following the 3-year wave of legislative attacks on abortion, on family planning services, much of it based on religion and on trying to raise money for the most extreme Republican candidates. And there are some Democratic lawmakers who are today trying to go on the offensive with this historic bill, which would straight up make it illegal for states to individually chip away at women's reproductive rights. Lewis, we talked about the situation in Texas, right, where there was initially a proposal to limit access to abortions, and then on an initial appeal, it was determined that those restrictions were unconstitutional, but then that was appealed, and then the restrictions are back on. And we have this horrible back and forth that really puts women and a lot of these providers in total limbo as to what it is that they can actually do in Texas. Richard Blumenthal is going to introduce the Women's Health Protection Act of 2013, joined by Barbara Boxer, Tammy Baldwin, and members of Congress, including Marcia Fudge, Judy Chu, Lois Frankel. This would prohibit states from passing these targeted regulation of abortion provider laws. They're also called TRAP laws. And those individually put in these restrictions on abortion clinics. They make it so that women have to have ultrasounds that wouldn't be medically necessary. They create all sorts of barriers. So this would not, Lewis, retroactively make the bills that have already been passed at the state level against the law, but they would create a legal basis on which those could be individually appealed. And that's a good thing. Putting aside preventing more of these bills from being proposed and happening, creating a legal method to appeal those could be huge.
Right. That's going to be big, especially in this state. And I hope that's what happens.
Yeah. The issue, of course, is that while this may pass in the Senate, it could be tough to get it through in the House, which is controlled by Republicans. What we really need here is to be working together to reduce the number of abortions that happen. It's so amazing to me, Lewis, because Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, we all want to reduce the number of abortions. It just seems that we aren't agreeing about what makes that happen. Abstinence-only sex education doesn't reduce the number of abortions. Making it really difficult to go to a clinic and get an abortion doesn't reduce the number of abortions. We want to reduce that number, and the way to do that is with logical and comprehensive sex education and access to contraception that is affordable. That's what we need, and we can reduce. I hate abortions, Lewis. I wish they were never necessary. They need to be legal. Women need to have access to safe abortions, and it is a procedure that is incredibly safe when done in a medical facility. Why can't we all move forward on reducing the number of abortions?
Because something like, I don't know, 30 to 40% of the country thinks that if you teach a young child about sex, they will start having it and their life will be ruined immediately. And
Right.
that's, I don't know, maybe it's because those people were never educated properly. I don't know, but we need to see eye to eye on that.
This idea of any group being a pro-abortion group is completely bogus. I have never met a women's rights or pro-choice advocate or activist who was looking to have more abortions take place. Let's prevent them from even being necessary, but conservatives are getting in the way of that too. It's truly sad.